Are you a lab rat from a super soldier program? If you were ever part of TAG, GATE, or have had strange memories or strange fears, you might want to buckle up, Buttercup. We just came back from a 5-day super soldier conference where the multiverse, missing time, AA Atlas, and Bigfoot are just normal conversations for the day. When X amount raised their hands that they had been part of TAG, and he said, you were part of a super soldier program, they're like, oh my goodness. So if you're watching this, yeah, you were too.
How many of you are raising your hand?
Raise your hand. If the child could survive such traumatic abuse to the mom in the womb, etc., then the child was fit to be continuing in this program. So I remember when she was talking about that, I remember getting triggered and crying. I do. Look, I'm getting choked up now.
No, I was regressed 5 times, but I'm beginning to think
age regress. So you were taken and put back 5 times that we know of.
5 times. Or they just kept using me.
So with all that said, here's a taste of what really happened at the conference. Just a taste. Welcome Beyond the Meat Suit with Salt and Firefox, where we explore truth, love, and freedom. Tonight, we're jumping into the realms that most people don't even realize they've lived. Let's jump down that rabbit hole tonight with Salt and Firefox for a pre-recorded live podcast. We're live, and we are going Beyond the Meat Suit tonight. We're going to talk about our Super Soldier Conference, so it's going to be a bit casual today. I've got some notes written down I'm going to look at to keep me kind of on track.
I dress casual.
You dress casual? All right. So let's see how this goes. All right. First off, Super Soldier Conference. I assume if you're here, you know what a Super Soldier is. Do you want to explain it?
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Go for it.
So the Super Soldier Program are those people who do spend time in the military, sort of, 20, 40, 60 years service, and it could repeat. And then when your service is over, after they lied to you that, oh yeah, you'll get paid. You don't. They mind wipe you. So you forget all about your years of service. Then they age regress you.
Okay.
So if you spend 20 years, they age regress you 20 years, and then they time travel you back, put you right back where they found you. And you have no idea what happened in those 20 years.
Yeah, you tend to look older when you're younger and younger when you're older.
Oh, yeah, when the age regression doesn't go too good, then things happen. You look young on the outside, and you have 90-year-old organs.
I actually have a scar on my leg from 5th grade that is no longer in the correct spot. So somehow, I don't know when that happened.
They moved it over.
I don't know. And
let's mess with her. Yeah, these guys, let's do something different. They'll never notice.
And
let's put it over here.
So one thing I'm going to mention, too, is that, so he said, like, you're in the military, right? You're in the military, but I wasn't in the military, but I was in the program. So let's just visit that.
Well, they might be confused because they think it's our military, and it's not.
Okay. Just to be clear on that, so you do not have to be in the military for this to be a thing for you. You could be a super soldier, male or female, having had served like you did.
Well, I wasn't exactly a super soldier. I helped train them.
Okay. So, I guess, and it's a good question, you know, what is a super soldier? It's a big word. It's not a big word. It's a very small word, Salt. Come on. So super soldier is just a broad name for people who have been in...
It's actually 2 words.
I know, it's 2 words. And
4 syllables.
Multiple syllables. So it's the name we use for a umbrella of different programs, let's say. So you were actually in the Air Force, legitimately, for 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
Right.
7 years, 10 months, and 13 days, but who's counting?
And your program that you were in the, let's call it the Super Soldier program, was approximately how long that you know of? So when you did your hypnoregression?
I was regressed 5 times, but I'm beginning to think
age regress, not hypnoregress, age regress. So you were taken and put back 5 times that we know of.
5 times. Or they just kept using me and... Oh, wait, bring them back.
Yeah, so you could be gone for, 5 years, 12 years. It's just like missing time, abduction, contact, right? You can be gone for 5 minutes or 5 years, and when the ET put you back, it's right where you were, so you wouldn't know. So it's similar to that, right?
Similar.
Okay. And then I was part of TAG, Talented and Gifted, right? So that is also part of the, I'm going to call it the Super Soldier Program. So that's just an umbrella name, Super Soldier Program, right? That's what it is. But basically, you had some special skills, and you were selected for different missions. And we went to a Super Soldier activation conference where a lot of really interesting things happened. So this is kind of like a highlight of that. We just want to make sure you all are kind of generally on board with what a Super Soldier is. So then I'll go from there.
Yeah. Only 3% of all the super soldiers actually have their memories in varying degrees. Now, I was probably at the bottom of that 3% because I had to have to go through several hypnosis sessions to remember things. And I met a person who did QHHT. His name was Drago, and I did a session with him, and I found out more details about exactly what I did.
Yeah, and we'll talk. Want to talk about that one at the end, because that's a really juicy topic, and we actually have to not talk about a lot of it. It's so good. It's so good. We can only tell you a little bit, little tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I'll have to bleep myself.
Quick note: we'll be jumping around and cutting out large sections due to the rules. So please check us out on Rumble for the full version of this podcast. Yeah, so we might we want to watch what we say there. So, and again, tag one. So we were at the conference, and it was like day one, and one of the speakers were there, and they had a great panel of speakers, phenomenal speakers, and we got to meet a lot of them. So we were a vendor there. And we got to watch a lot of the speakers. And I don't remember who it was. It may have been Drago. It may have been one of the other women, and it was actually more than one person. And I think it was Drago that said, everybody in this room, if you've been part of TAG or a program like that in school, raise your hand. And I'm like, oh yeah, I see where this is going, because I already know. Gate tag. So I don't know the other programs. There's other programs that just didn't have programs. And he goes, and you were tested out and this and that, and you were selected. He's like, you were selected when you were incarnated here. He's like, it's your DNA, it's your bloodline. He's like, yes, they tested out in school. He's like, but that's just their excuse to kind of get you in. He's like, they've actually already decided when you were born, your DNA has a patent on it, and you have some special lineage, and you've been part of the program as your family has. So it goes back generations back. So it was interesting, though, to see in this room, the spectators there, we were a vendor there, when X amount raised their hands, that they had been part of TAG, and he said, you were part of a Super Soldier program. They're like, oh my goodness. So if you're watching this, yeah, you were too.
How many of you are raising your hand?
Raise your hand.
Send us a comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
Say you were in it.
So I'm going to move on to that. From that, I have my notes here. Sorry, very, very official here. So we had a lot of infiltration. Now, when we decided to go to this conference, it was put on by James Rink. It was put on by him. I was like, geez, if we go to this conference, we know that this is a room full of people that, A, the powers that be doesn't want us to talk.
Especially us all talking together.
All talking together. They don't want us to share stories, because if you're one person who has had these experiences, you're just some crazy person. Here we are in Sedona, right? So we've got a lot of these, disrespect for the homeless people. We've got a lot of homeless people who have been part of the program. And you're so shattered, you don't even know exactly what's real and what's not real. So now we have a room of these people that are actually talking. And everybody's connecting the dots. Even for me, one of the women that spoke there, boy, did I get triggered when she spoke. I don't know if you were there, and I can't remember which speaker. She was one of the earlier speakers. And she was talking about the German bloodline. Now I'm half German, half Hungarian. She was talking about their program that started way back, that they would, again, select certain families, certain bloodlines. And if the child could survive such traumatic abuse to the mom in the womb, etc., then the child was fit to be continuing in this program. So I remember when she was talking about that, I remember getting triggered and crying. I do. Look, I'm getting choked up now.
It makes you think of that one saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah. So I remember getting triggered.
There's some truth behind it.
Yeah. I'm getting triggered now. So you go ahead and pick up for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things I found out was, but I'm beginning to think I may have died maybe a couple of those times. Back. Just regressed, but brought back.
That's part of the conditioning, I guess you would say. What they'll do is they'll send people after you, like with handlers, to do stuff to you in this plane. Because often we're talking about the multiverse, right? We're talking about different, how would you explain it? it's not realities, multiverse, timelines. It's when you're in the program, you're not here like in this
quantum
room.
Realities.
Quantum
For
realities,
every
yeah.
decision, there's another branch of the timeline. For every decision.
I want to look something up.
You know what? I'm going to have to get that Star Trek episode. They explained it really good.
Oh, yeah. So basically,
I have the DVD, so
if you have a fear of a lot of things, etc., you may have been conditioned as a super soldier. So we knew taking a risk, it was taking a risk to go there. So when we got there, James didn't look very good at all. And we had found out that James, about 10 days prior, was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And out of the blue, nothing. So we're like, where is he? He doesn't look good. What's going on? So when I stood next to him, now I'm an empath. So when I stood next to James, when I got close, I could feel his heart pounding, just no oxygen, and he was just like dying, and I could feel it. And I was like, James, let me help you. And a lot of people wanted to help heal him, and maybe too many chefs in the kitchen, but, everybody did their part. So anyways, we did a little healing, you and me and another woman that we chose to work with. And I'm not going to disclose what I saw visually. And this is real. And honestly, we're going to talk about different timelines towards the end of this and why people understand things differently.
We can explain 3-Eye Atlas.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about 3-Eye Atlas today, too. So 3-Eye Atlas and what people are talking about. I did a couple impromptu interviews there. I did one with the side chicks, so they're like psychics, like these two ladies, the side chicks. So I'm going to edit that up and share that with you, those two amazing ladies. And I go, hey, are you getting hit like constantly here? And one of them goes, no, what are you talking about?
They probably thought you meant hit on.
No. They knew. They did say that. They said, what do you mean hit? I said, energetically, psychically. She goes, no. And then she goes, are you freaking kidding me? Nonstop, 24/7. She's like, they are on us. I was like, okay. And we did have a bunch of people that got hit that weren't ready. And unfortunately, I think some of them were speakers. So there are a few speakers that did get hit. So yeah, this is real. This is real. So I'm going to move on unless you want to comment on anything. I got to look at my paper.
No.
Actually, there was a conference before ours somewhere up in, where was it? Rhode Island, Long Island, and similar type of conference. And they said there was such a short, how do you say, they expected a much higher attendance, but then something happened and people were afraid that they would, get targeted or their neighbors would see them, something like that. And I'm like, look, you just gotta. And they did ours live too. And honestly, I think there should have been more people there. But I'm like, yeah, you will go to a place like this, and if you're not psychically strong, you probably shouldn't be there. All right. So.
Well, if it's a bunch of super soldiers, who should be strong enough.
So I'm going to share a story that happened on tour, which explains that in a very understandable way, because people are like, oh, that's so convenient for you all to make that up, or like the Mandela effect, right? Same concept. We were out on tour one night, and there were multiple Jeeps out there, multiple tour guides, and I had a couple, and this couple, the man was probably 60s, and he was not in our reality, man. And I don't mean he was out there fluffy. I mean, he just wasn't in our reality. So we saw this big thing shoot across the sky, right? And
was that the missile launch?
It ended up being supposedly a secret missile launch, right? So we didn't know a missile launch was going on, and so all of us were like, "Whoa!" And it was amazing. So we all stopped our vehicles and stuck our head out of the Jeeps, right? So we're in the Jeeps with the open canopy. And we all saw what looked like a big astropop, which later they said it was a secret missile launch from where?
Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Yeah. And regardless...
It's not secret if they announce it.
Well, no, they announced it after.
After.
Yeah. Well, I know, it's so weird, right? So it wasn't a UFO, but it was weird, and we thought maybe it was, so let's look at it. And it was amazing. And he goes, what are you all looking at? What are you all looking at? Clearly, it's a searchlight from a car lot. I'm like... And his wife's like, honey, you don't see that? He goes, I see a searchlight. There's a car lot. So this is my simple way of explaining it. And I'm like, no, sir, we're in the desert. There's no car lot. He's like, well, it must be nearby, right? I was like,
no.
And you have to be polite. So then we get out to the area where all the Jeeps are now, and he has a green laser pointer, which is completely different than what we saw fly across the sky. And the man goes, there it is again. There's that searchlight right there. And we're like, okay. So the idea is he's in his own little reality where he lives, and he's comfortable there. And I'm not trying to judge the man, but let's say his reality's here, and then there's different layers of what you can handle and what you cannot handle. Oh,
I'm trying to look for that picture.
What are you looking at? Oh, you have it? Maybe.
I have a picture of the missile launch.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
I was like, what are you doing? So anyways, that's a simple way to explain it, right? And so let's move on. And we're going to talk about that with the AI Atlas and the remote viewers, what they so he's looking for that missile launch. All right.
Excuse me, did you just call 3i Atlas AI Atlas? What's wrong with you?
Ooh, yeah. You'll notice here that I call 3i Atlas AI Atlas. The reason that is because in the beginning, when it poked its head out in the media, I kept calling it AI Atlas because subconsciously we already know things. Now here I corrected myself in this video and I was calling it 3i Atlas. So in the beginning of the video, you will hear this. Then, in this section here, we talked about perspectives, realities, timelines, the multiverse, and how we don't all see things the same. So it's no surprise to me that during this part of the video, moving forward, I use the phrase AI Atlas, as did Firefox. So in the beginning, we both said 3i Atlas, 3i Atlas. And then here, we switched over to AI Atlas, onward in the video. Also, nobody in the room noticed the difference. So it's just funny how everything does come together. So AI Atlas or 3i Atlas, or whatever you like to call it, really is artificial intelligence, as everything that we're experiencing on this world is. All this 3D reality we see around us and all the multiverse, none of it is exactly real. So just remember that. So we will talk about whatever you want to call it at the end of the video and explain why there's so many different ideas of what's going on with it. So that's pretty wild too. And we're going to talk about you a little bit as much as you're willing to.
Wow.
As much as you're willing to. Okay, so we're going to talk about AI Atlas, remote viewers, looking at my notes. Oh, let's talk about Bigfoot. So I was pretty excited at the Super Soldier Conference that Bigfoot came up a lot. And one thing is, Sasquatch. Let's use the word Sasquatch. That's one thing. Bigfoot's not.
Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti.
Yeah. And there were quite a few super soldiers who were part of the program, who were trained by the military, who have had a deep, long-running connection with Bigfoot, Sasquatch. And like myself, I had one as a childhood friend that I didn't realize till later. But a lot of us that are here, those are our protectors. And they're, for us, really, really good. And they don't really like humans. And we don't either sometimes. So I get that. But as far as the Bigfoot go, I asked some of these people, tell me about your perspective, your understanding of Bigfoot. Are they real? Are they etheric? Big hairy ape? What do you got? And it did confirm my understanding of what a Bigfoot was, but a caveat with something that was new to me that tied into the Skinwalker Ranch. So they basically said that, most of these Bigfoot that we're seeing are etheric. So they're in another, how do you say that, dimension?
Another dimension.
And then if we can vibrate in their dimension, we could see them, and then they could kind of vibrate in ours. So normally, if they're seen by you, it's that you can see them, or they're allowing this as a gift. And can you explain the dimensions, the way you do it? You do it so well. Just there's 4 we know of, and I like the way you do that. Very simple.
Okay, well, there's a difference between the way the spiritual practices and the indigenous people describe it, and then the way the Western science describes it. Well, if you take the cultural specific stuff out of the spiritual practices, there's a commonality between all of it. Doesn't matter where they come from. Africa, Australia, parts of Europe, Asia, even here in the Americas, North, Central, and South. We basically use only 3 levels in our meditations. One is middle world, but the other 2, lower and upper world, have an infinite number of dimensions to explore. And usually people think of it as just going linear, but no, they just come around to each other and they actually connect. And it's just an infinite number of dimensions. Now, despite that infinite dimensions, when you set your intention prior to the meditation, you will always go to the dimension you need to go to in order to get answers or to complete your healing work. Now, these spiritual practices have been around for at least 30,000 years. They always evolve with modern societies, and that's why it's been with us for so long. Whereas in Western science, it's only been a century or two. That quantum physicists say we exist in 10 dimensions. But most people are only aware of the first 4. The first 4 can be explained this easily. Length, width, depth, and linear time. That's it.
And then
We
6
don't have
more.
we don't have the scientific equipment to measure the other 6, and we definitely don't have it for the other infinite number of dimensions Western science also says there are to explore. And this is where Western science finally matches the description of the spiritual practices. And the only difference, 30,000 years.
Yeah, and now they're saying, infinite. Yeah, infinite.
Pretty good.
Yeah. It's nice, right? Yeah. I like the way he describes it. So hopefully when we talk about Bigfoot, you're not out there looking for a big, hairy, stinky ape, right? So the ones I've dealt with are etheric, right? So think of it like a ghost, but it's very conscious, and it is in a different reality, a different dimension. Now, there's a lot of debate whether there is any. It's certainly not. They're ET, right? They're ET. They're not some. What do you call it? Lost mammal, right? They're not just an ape. They're intelligent. They're psychic.
You know, the Hopis say they come from Mars.
Yeah, a lot of stories about coming from Mars. So they said basically, and this falls in line to, I feel like it was in the Law of One, where they said, look, there's the ones that are 3-dimensional, and then the ones that are completely in another reality and aren't really here at all, and then the ones that are like the etheric ones that we're used to. So at the conference, and I can't remember which one it was, one of the super soldiers said that the stuff up at Skinwalker Ranch, when they said they shot at a creature and a chunk of flesh fell off the creature and it smelled like rot, they said that is the more negative, what you would refer to as a Bigfoot. They're not kind, and what they do is the only way.
Sounds like a necromancer.
Oh yeah, the only way they can be in any form is what they'll do, and that's what they talk about, the cattle mutilation and animal mutilation. And this is another theory, and they said that this mutilation of these animals, they take their body parts, skin, chunks, organs, blood, and they recreate a like a golem, right? I don't know what to call it. They recreate a like a voodoo doll, right? And this
it would be closer to a flesh golem.
A fresh golem, yeah.
A flesh.
So instead of like a dirt golem, if you know what a golem is,
yeah.
Basically the Jewish black
learned
magic.
That from D&D.
Jewish black magic, they could create this like creature out of mud and sticks and stone, but basically they're doing this out of dead animal parts and blood, and so when they shoot, and then they incarnate their energy into this stinky, rotted flesh of a creature, so they're not really alive or dead. And at the Skinwalker Ranch, when they shot off that dead flesh, that's what that was, according to the super soldier.
Yeah, they're making a car.
Yeah.
So they can drive around.
Yeah, golems and homunculi.
Golems and homunculi
Homunculi.
is another way. So they make it out of, the golem is made of dirt and mud, but this is a flesh. So, and speaking of that,
So what were you going to say about Bigfoot? Okay.
There's many different Bigfoot, including that rotted flesh one. Yeah. So one of the questions I had, he's beeping me. One of the questions I had for the super soldier that was really in the know with the Bigfoot and had a lot of contact with them, but also was in the program, I said, look, the Bigfoot one time showed me something. Actually, the Bigfoot showed me a lot, and I'm not allowed to share everything with everyone. I said, but they showed me how they watch us. Oh, there's a lot more details to it. All right. So that's all I'm going to say about the Bigfoot on YouTube. A lot of super soldiers seem to have them as buddies, which is interesting because they're ETs. And I believe we are a lot of the lab rats that broke out of the cage to free the other lab rats. So if you're watching this, you may be another lab rat, and we're here to break you out.
Well, it's disclosure, truth.
What else
Freedom.
we got? What else are we talking about here?
With the truth.
Another thing is, I'm going to share that. So a comment just came up too about whether I'm sitting here speaking and all of a sudden, yeah, you could share that, but not that. And I'm tapping into it live, right? And he's like, well, you didn't really tap into it, but you did share. I was like, oh, I didn't share much at all. Trust me. I didn't. But somebody said, well, then that encourages you to tap into your own psychic abilities, right? You to tap into the Akashic records, the infinite beyond, the greater knowing, the all-knowing, the guides, right? You to tap into that and find out the truth for yourself. And what is interesting, and I shared this with you, is some of the information that I'm not supposed to share, they will not give me the details. And the reason they won't give me the details is that I'm not supposed to accidentally tell somebody.
Yeah, you're a blabbermouth. That's why
I'm an honest person. I am a blabbermouth, but this way I also cannot be psionically tapped into my brain, and you can't dig it out because it's not disclosed to me yet. So they will tell you, or me, or him, or whoever's out here, they'll tell us, Johnny and Ricky and Bobby and Sarah, it's like romper room. So they'll tell you what you need to know now, and then you can go forward. And that's why they can't tell you everything, because number one, the future's liquid, and number two, it may be something very proprietary or very secretive that you're just not supposed to accidentally share, or somebody remote views or taps on your head psionically, or you're tortured into telling. So just understand the frustration and that, and also question everything that comes into your head. I know I do. I know I question everything that comes into my head. All right, and then I think the last thing we'll talk about, other than your hypnoregression session, is the AI Atlas. Reminder, due to the rules, we cannot talk about AI Atlas or the hypnoregression the way we want, and the podcast has been stripped down considerably. So when you're done here, subscribe, and then hop on over to Rumble and subscribe there as well for the full experience. So we were trying to make this like a buffet, a little highlight of information for you this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We are always here for truth, love, and freedom. Thank you so much. Subscribe, share, definitely comment, and thank you for going beyond Suit.
Or to come.